Stream Deck has not been working properly for a very long time. Voice mod needs to be running. It is. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
It's running.
You sound fine. It's not even hissing.
No, I fixed that. Do you know what the problem was? My Windows settings were too high. It wasn't voice mod, no. Oh. I had my Windows settings all the way up to 100. And that was adding it. The computer was adding hiss.
That's a weird way of saying your window was open.
So I just brought it down and then just put I just twiddled the knobs.
Kinky.
Oh, indeed.
Here are today's judges: the Stale Rice, Charles Redding, and TJ Pownall. On the fantasy tournament game show where anything can happen, anyone can win, and you never know who will show up next. It's anyone's game!
Hooray!
Hooray!
I'm your host, Rob Bourgeois. Let's get this thing moving. So one by one, I'm going to give you a list of 4 characters, celebrities, or teams. Pick the one you want to see compete. The rest of them get tossed aside, and we won't see them at least until next episode. If you don't know who any of them are, don't like them, or just don't want to pick them, you can ditch them for 3 replacements, double ditch for 2, and then last ditch for 1. Once your character's chosen, we spin this wheel, and we stick him wherever it lands up top. If it lands on a resolved match, we keep the wheel moving the way it was going until we find a completely open match. If our spin results in a match, then we draw the contest randomly from the other bucket, and then we get to argue about who wins.
Is this distracting?
Only the judges' votes count. I'm just here to facilitate. Any questions so far?
No.
Fantastic.
We're experienced.
So, our previous champion, Donatello, is sitting at the top of the wheel. He's going to be our 32nd and final player for this tournament. And to demonstrate the process of picking, I will choose our first player now. So I have as my choices Cosmo and Wanda Cosma from The Fairly Odd Parents, Raz Aquato from Psychonauts, Peter Griffin from Family Guy, or Mary Poppins from Mary Poppins. I'm going to pick Mary Poppins. I haven't seen her
also
for
from Family Guy.
So I give that a spin, and while that's spinning, let's go over the basic rules. First, we're assuming that the characters want to win, but not that they need to win. Second, no matter the events of the previous match, we're assuming that the players enter the new match at 100%. Third, players who are known for carrying gear at all times will have their standard loadout for all contests. And fourth, cheaters don't win. We always catch them. They are disqualified. Rendering the contest moot, such as teleporting out of an escape room or escalating in violence beyond what's implied by the contest, counts as cheating. So now that the wheel has stopped, Mary Poppins goes right here and awaits her opponent. Stale. Mm-hmm. You've got an Aperture Science Sentry Turret from Portal, Miguel and Tulio from The Road to El Dorado, Flapjack from The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack, or Dr. Mrs. the Monarch from The Venture Brothers.
Let's throw in Miguel and company.
Alright, Miguel and Tulio. Tulio and Miguel.
How could you not go for the turret? Imagine
that. There were some really good choices up there.
The moment it gets on anything, it's just immediately disqualified because of the violence.
No, it would understand the contest. It's not just going to go in blasting.
Oh, it's I'm different, is it?
I'm different.
Charlie, you've got Secret Squirrel from Secret Squirrel, Brian David Gilbert, the video essayist, Jason Nesmith from Galaxy Quest, or John Cena from the WWE.
Yeah, let's do John Cena. Honestly, I just think he's a really fun actor.
He acts?
For sure.
Yeah, he's an actor. He's been in multiple movies. He's also one of the current hosts of Wipeout, I believe. TJ.
Hello.
You've got Dr. Wayne Selinsky from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Crazy Dave from Plants vs. Zombies, House Carl Lydia from The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, or Lamb Chop from Lamb Chop's Play Along.
I Shrunk the Kids, Wayne Selinsky in there. Does the shrink ray count as his standard gear?
It's not mobile, so I don't think so.
Damn!
But any of his inventions that he can actually carry around, sure. If you shot the shrink ray at a mirror, could it shrink itself?
Portable.
Or would it shrink the mirror?
I think it'd do both.
Depends on its function.
Stale. You have Dr. Alan Grant from Jurassic Park, Tommy Pickles from All Grown Up, Teal'c from Stargate SG-1, or Tony the Tiger, the mascot of Frosted Flakes.
Man, Alan Grant.
Those selections are great.
I'm trying to find a list of things that he's invented, and so far it's just the growing machine or growth ray.
Well, that was in the sequel. Honey, I Blew Up the Kids.
He invented quite a few things in the TV show.
It was a show?
Yeah, there was a show.
Oh, wow.
How did they stretch that gimmick?
Well, they had
he
him
invented
invent more
all sorts of
TJ.
things. It wasn't all size-based things. He was quite a prolific inventor.
Honey, I set the kids to medium.
Charlie, you have Gwyn, Lord of Cinder from Dark Souls, Blinky from Pac-Man, Adam Savage from Mythbusters, or Foaming Mouth Guy from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Foaming Mouth Guy is always pretty funny, but he also doesn't have much going for him. But let's do Adam Savage. He'd be interesting.
I was like, Adam Savage is like definitely going to go up there, and then Foaming Mouth Guy came up. He's so close.
I'm sure he'd be pleased to know how close it was.
TJ, you've got Emily Elizabeth Howard from Clifford the Big Red Dog, Launchpad McQuack from DuckTales, Inspector Jacques Clouseau from The Pink Panther, or General George Hammond from Stargate SG-1.
Ooh, Stargate characters, wow.
Uh,
And both bald.
Teal'c isn't bald.
Not in that picture, but he's in like 99% of the series.
Oh, let's go for Clouseau. I'm sort of hoping for more doctors to show up so that we can get
Brace for accidental wins here.
lots of doctors.
I don't have the patience to be a doctor. I love the look
That
of pain
was a
on your
pun.
face.
Alright, Stale, you've got Captain Jean-Luc Picard from Star Trek The Next Generation, Richard Castle from Castle, Zack and Cody Martin from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, or Guts from Berserk.
Picard's tempting, but Zack and Cody would be a funny choice. Zack
If
and
it
Cody.
helps, we've had Picard up there quite a few times.
More bald
Is
people.
Picard a doctor?
Are Zack and Cody doctors?
I don't think.
No,
he
no, no.
is.
Is Picard a doctor?
No.
No.
Ah, okay.
He did archaeology, but he wasn't like a professor or a doctor of that. He's a captain of archaeology.
Well,
Captain
alongside Graham there.
Archaeology. Warp 5, engage.
Captain Picarcheology. Zack and Cody Martin versus Mary Poppins. The contest is pyrotechnics.
Pyrotechnics.
Who is going
Oh,
to
wow.
create the more impressive, like, fire and fireworks display meant for a stage safely?
Oh, then
Okay.
it's Mary Poppins. If safety is
Safely.
required, it's Mary Poppins.
Safely.
They
Yeah.
will create the much more impressive,
No
chaotic,
one
and-
can get
and
burned.
reckless display.
Plus, he's magic.
Okay,
She is.
she's magic. She would do a great display, but she would not have the wild, reckless abandon and chaos with which they would operate. However,
Especially
I will
Zack.
put it that they're part of a kid's show where nobody's likely to get burned in their context.
Mr. Mosby's gonna be really mad at them, though, by the end
It
of
would
it.
Yeah,
not be
The
by its
curtains
nature-
would not be spared.
No. So hers would be less destructive. Theirs would be more impressive, but I don't think anybody would be hurt in either case. But if you're going for like objective safety, definitely her.
I've got no argument. It's got to be Mary Poppins. She's
Safe.
safe.
So
Plus,
Mary Poppins.
all of her fireworks would be animated. So
That's
Very
true.
well animated.
Mary Poppins sparkles into the next round, and now it is Charlie's turn. You've got Beavis and Butthead from Beavis and Butthead, Grogu from Star Wars The Mandalorian, Fluttershy from My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, or Huey Duck from DuckTales.
I really couldn't go with any of these ones, except maybe Beavis and Butthead, who I could care less about. Let's go with Grogu.
Not variety in that choice.
Not just a whole
Yeah.
bunch of weird creatures.
Alright, Grogu versus John Cena. Online
doing it.
gambling.
What's the goal of winning here?
Make the most money.
Yeah, end up with more money. They're not allowed to affect, like, the cards or the slots or the dice.
No telekinesis.
Reading them, if they're able to do that, is fine, but they're not allowed to change them.
Right.
What would Jedi telepathy help Grogu in any case with this?
I mean, if it's
I don't think it would.
poker,
Not,
yeah.
not
I don't know,
online.
changing
Not online.
electrons.
People see Grogu as a baby, right? And so we
More
wouldn't
or
think
less.
a baby would be good at gambling. But you really don't see John Cena being very good at gambling either. I mean, he's not really his toolkit, his wheelhouse, and he seems like a kind of reckless guy who might just go for big gambles and lose. The thing about Grogu that you got to remember is he is 50 years old, and he had nothing to do for many, many of those years.
True.
He's also very, like, force sensitive, so he could possibly read information that
I mean, seeing the
John
future is a
Cena
force
wouldn't have
power,
access to.
like just a
That's
few
true.
seconds ahead.
But to be fair to John, no matter what happens, he wins because he's already rich.
So he might be starting with a higher base capital here.
He'll gamble a lot
doesn't
more
seem
money.
very fair.
That isn't
I think
fair.
they should start
no.
with the same. They should start with the same amount of money and see how much they have after like
But
a day.
since
Okay.
when has this game ever been fair?
That's true. You know what? I'm leaning Grogu only because of the Force powers. And
I mean, if
There's
you can tell the
advantage there.
future, that's gonna
Yeah,
stop
this
you
is all luck
losing
based
money.
anyway. Exactly. It's all about luck.
There's staying power there. You can know when to fold them. I might have to go
Okay,
for
so
Grogu.
sounds like Grogu then.
Yeah.
I really want to see them now put Grogu on that the poker night at the inventory.
TJ,
Yes.
you've got Tori Belleci from Mythbusters, Alan the Brain Powers from Arthur, Jafar from Disney's Aladdin, or Peppino Spaghetti from Pizza Tower.
Ditch, please.
Not a fan of Pizza Tower?
No, I don't know what's going on there. Scares me.
It's fun.
Not a fan of Tori?
New things. Scary.
Stay away.
Jabba the Hutt from Star Wars, Jay Darris from Clerks, or Shrek from Shrek.
I can't tell the difference between the first one and the last one.
The last one is a combination of the first and second.
Oh, okay. Jabba
The first
Hutt.
one is what the last one pulls out of his ears.
Jabba. I want to see Jabba
All right.
and Grogu.
Be rough since one of them is like 60% face.
Stale. You have Vanellope von Schweetz from Wreck-It Ralph, Pepperoni from Lego Island, Gargamel from The Smurfs, or Henry Spencer from Psych.
The second pepperoni-themed named character.
Another bald man.
Well, Gargamel is kind of useless, isn't he?
There's
Like
two
two.
bald men here.
Yeah, what's that about?
It's not like
I
it's
love
all that rare.
I
Look,
love
just
my
because
funny
you
picks.
pioneered the
So-
Jackbox.
I love my funny picks, so Gargamel in this one.
Those bloody Smurfs. I hate them so much. Those little blue
That's what we need is an R-rated Smurf movie.
blue.
Did he have like a minion or something? Like,
had a
was it just
cat.
him?
He had a
He had a
cat.
cat. He's
What's
just
the
Yeah.
cat's name?
he's just the Grinch, isn't he?
Pretty much, yeah.
What was the cat's name?
Oh, something
me look it up.
stupid. Bubbles, maybe.
That was something good.
Face. Alexa, what was Gargamel's cat called?
Here is an
Ar-
answer from an
Azrael.
Alexa Answers contributor that I translated. Gargamel's cat in the animated series The Smurfs is called Azrael.
Yeah.
Azrael is Gargamel's constant companion and is often used by
Shut up.
Gargamel to track down
Stop.
or hunt the Smurfs.
No, I didn't want the life story.
Azrael is a black and white spotted
Shut up!
cat and has
I
been
wanted the
reported
name,
to
not the
haunt series
description.
as an accomplice. Did that answer your question?
Yes! Too much!
Thanks for your feedback.
Alright, Charlie, you've
Yeah.
got Perry the Platypus from Phineas and Ferb, Burton Gus Guster from Psych, Lieutenant Nog from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, or Heat Miser from The Year Without a Santa Claus.
Let's go with Gus.
Hello, my name is Gus. I gust.
From
I
what I
gust all
was
over my
reading, it
pizza.
did seem like Nog was kind of the like a friendly version of like the whole like Ferengi
He was a mold breaker, yeah.
ethos.
Yeah, he was.
He was a
completely the
side
opposite.
character to a side character to a side character who had one of the best character arcs in the story in the franchise.
Yeah, that he started out, just like any other Ferengi, very greedy and everything, and then he realized that social capital is also capital,
Yeah.
and then became like amazing to everybody around him.
It wasn't like there was a transition like that. It was more like he just was used to the Ferengi thing, but he got friends with Jake and sort of got
could-
into Starfleet. I don't know.
he
but
could
he
see
also
that
was
there were
able
better
to-
options, and so took them.
He
Yeah,
was
yeah.
also like able to see all sorts of interesting connections that he had with other people,
Yeah.
and use those to kind of like help the other people he knew.
Yeah.
I mean, he did, but he wasn't that philosophical about it.
Sure,
It was always like getting
Wasn't
stuff
like-
for
but it was still really cool to
the great
to
material
read about that.
continuum, they call it.
But he's gone, and we picked someone else.
Yes. So Gus versus Inspector Jacques Clouseau, Sudoku.
Wow,
I'm out of my depth
I'll-
here. I don't know these guys.
I think Clouseau's gonna hurt himself here.
Yeah,
He- I
Clouseau
mean,
is a clown,
Regardless,
Gus
he's
is a
going to
clown
hurt
too.
himself.
but Gus is a nerd clown who could do Sudoku.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Sudoku is like right up Gus's alley.
The less we talk about his alley, the
Sean
better.
would be better at it than him, but he would be very annoyed by that.
I don't think
No, it's
Clouseau
definitely
would
Gus.
know. He'd be doing
this
it
is the character
thinking he's getting
who-
it right, but he's getting it wrong.
Yeah, this is the character who leaned on a globe.
Oh, yeah, that sort of humour.
All right, so sounds like Gus then.
I'm going with Gus.
Yeah.
I'll go with you guys.
Gus.
I don't know why you said it like that. Gus never says it like that.
It just sounds like it should be said like that.
Gus.
It's just really nice.
Like a gust of wind.
All right, TJ, you've got Maid Marian from Disney's Robin Hood, Dot Warner from the Animaniacs, Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, or Sonya Blade from Mortal Kombat.
Ooh, Dot.
And this is why I keep not picking Rita Repulsa.
I've not seen Wacko up there yet.
He's been.
But I've not seen him. Or have I? I don't know.
I think you've picked him before.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure you've also picked Yakko.
That is gonna be. Don't cut that in. I'll have to go looking for it. Don't you dare. Don't look at me like that.
Said it.
Don't stop smiling.
TJ and his adversarial relationship with our editor continues.
TJ versus Alexa, TJ versus TJ. All these are going to be great episodes.
Yeah.
I suffer so much.
But you do good work, though.
F you.
TJ. That's a compliment. Jesus.
I know.
Alright, still, you've got Winston Zedmore from Ghostbusters, Bjorn the Unicorn from Peggle, Gomez Adams from the Addams Family, or Ahsoka Tano from Star Wars.
Oh, I'll go with Winston. He used to cosplay Ghostbusters. He got annoying after a while.
All the ghosts.
Don't enter fandoms. Well, who would be the worst ghost to meet?
Slimer.
Winston Zedmore versus Jabba the Hutt, button mashing for speed.
Didn't we have
That'd be
Jabba the Hutt
Winston.
doing this before, but it was against a mouse?
I think he was playing Super Smash Brothers. It might have been button mashing.
Oh,
Who's
well,
that
that'd be
from?
Winston, right?
Winston, I believe, was a cab driver, and then he kind of just fell ass backwards into becoming a Ghostbuster. He's like the one of them who doesn't have a PhD.
He's wanted for the job.
But we're just going for doctors.
But he kind of also like quickly became the heart of the group.
I think in a
Well, that-
pinch, he could get a lot of speed. Like, if he's got to, like, oh, the ghost's gonna get me.
Yeah.
We've not seen Jabba be very fast. His hands are very far apart.
Like, just...
And
he's,
he's got-
He'd
these
have a
little-
hard time holding the controller, yeah.
He's got
That's
little
the
sausage
thing.
fingers.
We could
he's a slow creature. I can't see him typing
Yeah.
real fast.
we could say that Jabba has a controller that's like this long.
I mean, that's just a Steam Deck.
But like for Winston, he'd probably be able to figure out a technique fairly quickly. Because
Jabba's-
he's very much got like that practical smarts kind of thing to him.
He does.
Jabba's just not used to doing a lot of his own stuff on his own.
That's my thought on that.
I think it's got to be Winston.
Agreed.
One technique that I found though is you have two fingers like this and a hook, and then if you have to mash one button, you just slide them back and forth across the button on the controller. And so with each motion, you get two button presses instead of like this, where you have two motions for one press.
This man putting in the research.
Charlie, you've got Rory Williams from Doctor Who, one well-fed Tribble from Star Trek, the original series, Adrian Monk from Monk, or Jill Valentine from Resident Evil.
I think it's time we put a Tribble on the board.
TJ, you got Jared and Mr. Fish from Manly Guys Doing Manly Things, Talkie Toaster from Red Dwarf, Zagreus from Hades, or Dr. Julian Bashir from Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Oh, do I go with genetically engineered doctor or toast-obsessed toaster? I think we're going to go for the toaster.
That really is not a very good picture of Bashir.
A toaster versus Jabba the Hutt. Making toast. Oh,
They would be
This is
best
Zellman.
friends. Look at him.
That's how Jabba would die in the bath.
Stale. You've got Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, the Iron Giant from The Iron Giant, Hermione Granger from Harry Potter, or Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty.
Rudolph on this one.
Rudolph is one of my favorite villains I've ever put into a superhero game.
Really? Wait.
What?
Yeah, I made him like the extra-dimensional trickster type.
Oh, okay.
So he was sucking out people's happiness and ruining the holiday. Every time they tried to attack him, their sword would turn into a candy cane, stuff like that.
You're really weird.
Although fire seemed to work pretty well.
Who's really weird? Him or me?
Yes.
Charlie, you've got Ratchet and Clank from Ratchet and Clank, Nathan Drake from Uncharted, Tammy from Undertale, or Doom Guy from Doom.
Let's do Nathan Drake. He's always fun.
He did a Subway ad like for Uncharted 3 back in the day. It was really funny.
Ugh.
Cut me like a hero or some shit like that.
I have to find that.
It's pretty grand, honestly.
Oh my god, he did.
Okay, that one's already resolved, so we keep this moving, and
I'm Nathan
here's
Drake.
our
if you're
open
the
match.
adventures type like me, then get in on the Subway Taste for Adventure for a chance to win epic trips and exclusive
TJ.
access to Uncharted 3. Get your code on 30-ounce drinks today.
Let me know when you're ready.
Subway, where winners eat. Now.
He's having a moment.
It was just fully rendered in game. What?
I know.
A Subway advert.
I know.
Oh bloody hell! Right. What?
You've got Slimer from The Real Ghostbusters, Agent Joanna Dark from Perfect Dark, Beast from X-Men, or Noah from The Book of Genesis.
Oh, let's go for Noah. He can
Noah?
build a boat.
I hardly know her!
Don't
Canonical Noah.
pull that on me, okay? Noah, I hardly know her. Shut up. It already says Noah. That's not even that's not even a pun. It's not a joke.
That's the best joke I've heard all week.
It's just saying the same words twice.
You say that like that's not what makes it funny.
Shut up.
Noah versus Miguel and Tulio.
Sometimes you people just make me angry.
Trading up from a paperclip.
I mean,
Now,
Noah
quick
built that
question.
ark out of nothing.
Is the horse included?
No.
I mean, there's no question it's Miguel and Tulio.
They,
Well,
they're
kind of
golden
trade up
tongue-
from nobodies
they're
to
golden-
godhood.
They're golden-tongued con men.
Who could
I
sell
don't-
gold to the people of El Dorado?
They asked for a crowbar. They got the keys.
Find the pry bar. Yes, find the pry bar. He can't understand pry bar. He's a dumb horse. There's no way.
Like Noah's like a really like chill, like immoral guy, right? And then, well, not chill maybe, but then you got Miguel and Tulio, and
Maybe
they're,
not
like, they're
moral
con men.
either.
Oh, he's not moral.
There's a lot of wrath.
Maybe
in
not.
the,
Like, the judgments that are made on people's morality in the Bible are kind of tenuous,
Yeah,
generally.
very. I'm
So,
still leaning on them though, because this is
Yeah.
not new to them.
so Stale's saying Miguel and Tulio. TJ?
Yep.
Charlie?
Agreed.
Miguel and Tulio versus Gus. Air hockey.
Well, it's two of them versus one person, or the tag teaming.
They'd have to tag team it.
It's a triangular
And-
board, and they only get half points.
And Gus is the person who would just score almost exclusively on himself.
I don't know. This air hockey actually kind of seems like one of Gus's talents.
It would be a thing he would think he could do, and he would be really competitive about it, but he would score on himself 90% of the time.
I think I'm good at it, and I always end up losing because I
That's
keep
fair,
scoring
yeah.
my own hockey puck.
John would stand there, barely trying, and Gus would lose.
It
I
makes you
don't
feel
know
like
Gus, so I can't say.
Sean would be more annoyed about it than Gus.
oh yeah, I know how angles work. I can just go like that, and it just goes straight in, and then it just. It's
And Miguel and
infuriating.
Julio are lucky.
Oh, they are lucky, aren't they?
So Charlie, you're saying
Very
Miguel
lucky.
and Tulio?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Sure.
just sheer
Totally.
luck.
Okay. Stale. You've got Mojo Jojo from the Powerpuff Girls, Igwilv from Dungeons and Dragons Greyhawk, Moneybags from Spyro the Dragon, or Lindsay from Total Drama.
Moneybags.
Okay.
He's a. You seem,
was-
you seem confused, TJ.
It was very satisfying when you got to chase him around and get all your money
Yes,
back.
that was so satisfying. No, Moneybags is what made this generation hate capitalism.
What's he from?
Spyro.
Spyro the Dragon.
That's probably why I've never heard of him.
He's a big paywall for everything.
Oh.
And he sold someone a bottle of sunscreen that had mayonnaise in it.
Oh,
cheap.
oh, real bear. Okay.
I hate him and I love him at the same time.
He does also get his comeuppance very frequently. Charlie,
Yes.
you've got Carpet from Disney's Aladdin, Britta Perry from Community, Kevin Durand, the actor, or Lightning McQueen from Cars.
It gives me great pleasure to not pick Lightning McQueen.
Don't you dare.
You have a problem with Carpet? You're foolish enough to tell me this just as I have the
Don't
chance
you
to pick
dare.
him?
How long did we talk about Carpet for?
Oh, that's the problem. Okay. Well, yeah, let's go with Britta Perry then.
Britta
Right.
Perry versus Talkie Toaster, Ballet.
Oh, Come on!
Now, hang on. To properly accommodate, we can put the toaster on wheels.
He's still not going to do it! He's only got one moving part!
And Britta is somebody who absolutely would have had ballet lessons and then completely pretended she didn't.
This is the
think
other
this
way
might
around. This is a completely underpowered character who's been completely wiped.
Although I think this might actually be Britta Perry's first win.
Speaking of underpowered characters,
Yeah.
it took ballet against a toaster for her to win.
TJ, you've got Ralph Wiggum from The Simpsons, Cow and Chicken from Cow and Chicken, Princess Charlie Morningstar from Has Been Hotel, or the conductor from A Hat in Time.
Of course, he has a flute up his nose, Ralph Wiggum.
That's some nice fluting, boy.
Now, it's going to be matches from here on, but this is a good time to pause, let you know that if you want to see more of this and our other projects, you can go to raspberrygrenade.games, or check us out on Patreon if you want to help support our shows and our tabletop games, like these fine offerings over here. You can go to patreon.com/raspberrygrenade. On with the show.
So the thing with Cow and Chicken is it's like they're trying to be Ren and Stimpy with the gross factor, but none of the edge.
I just don't like the excessive milk spreading, milk all over
And the
place.
butts. Don't forget their
and the
obsession
butts.
with butts.
I mean, that was
Pork
funny.
butts, yeah.
It's not
Apparently,
quite
it's a
tasty.
really expensive cut of meat.
The
What,
pork
the
butt?
arse
It's
of the
really
Pork
cheap.
rump, yeah.
It's not really that expensive. It's the cheap one. That's why it was actually okay. So there's this whole thing about how that's a tough and problematic part of the meat to eat. So
I'm googling pork arses.
it was left. It was left for poor people. That was the cut they got. So they come up with slow roasting to melt all that fat away. You know, they made one of the best pulled pork kind of stuff.
So-
the whole point is that it's a really terrible cut of meat.
I googled
Generally,
pork arses
Why would
Oh,
you
no.
Google that?
just to
PJ.
see like what the costs were.
just to see.
What I've got here is Leeds Live, which I assume is the Leeds News or whatever. This Leeds butcher sells juicy pork anuses and everyone ... And then just underneath it, pork arseholes, anyone? How to cook great food.
DJ, you just look up pork butt. That's all you look up. Why'd you search asses?
Yeah, you want to search pork rump.
Yeah, boom, there
Not
you go.
pork arses. Okay. Ah, yes, that's actually what's coming up now. I preferred my Google search.
Sale. You've got Snidely Whiplash from the Rocky and Bullwinkle Show, Raphael from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Bastila Shan from Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, or Rocco Rama from Rocco's Modern Life.
And the 2012 Raph, I got to say, was really good. Sean Astin voiced him.
Split between him and Rocco, so I'm gonna go with Raph, actually.
Raphael versus Nathan Drake, cake decoration.
That would be one of those surprising skills that he'd have. You know, big angry cakes.
Well, that's for Nathan, too, because he's a talented dude as well. You never know what he's learned across the world, just because.
He might have had to do it to solve a puzzle.
Exactly, that's what I'm
Make the
imagining.
cake.
But Raph,
Just like an
Exactly
ancient
the
Aztec
right way.
puzzle, you have to stick a cake in an oven.
But the same goes for Raph, though, because like TJ said, it might be one skill he happens to f***ing have.
I don't see that personally. He's just not a food guy.
Pizza.
What do you mean he's not a food... Pizza! He's not a food guy.
He's not a
Everybody
food
needs
making
turtles.
guy.
They live in a sewer. It's the best food they can ever have.
You know what? No, okay. Tell you what, I think Nathan would be more likely to know, though.
I think so. He would have constructed the cake of the silver monkey.
Yeah, alright.
Good job.
Nathan Drake versus Winston Zedmore. Now it's a bake-off.
But we just...
Nathan Drake, more
God.
like Nathan Cake.
Shut up!
Did Winston ever cook in Ghostbusters?
He lives in New York. He's
Yeah.
got probably a small apartment. I imagine he can cook. I imagine he definitely has practical life skills.
Compared to the rest, who are just they're
I thought-
smart dudes, they're doctors.
I thought everyone
like,
just
okay.
ate takeaway all the time.
Oh, good
I mean,
point.
probably, but
Nobody
the thing
cooks.
is, Nathan, we're not just talking about who can bake a cake. But I'm sure they could both bake a cake by following instructions. But Drake has a lot more stuff to do, a lot more going on beyond learning to do it really well.
Right. That's not the
I
point.
don't know if I'm pretty sure Winston Zimmer has a family.
If we do what we usually do, take them out of their universes, pop them in... Why have I got such low frame rate all of a sudden? That's weird. Pop them in anyone's game arena, in a tent, bake-off style, right? They've got the ingredients, they've got the instructions. Who can make the better cake by reading the instructions?
It also doesn't necessarily have to be a cake. It can be pretty much anything that you bake.
Do some bread.
Oh, true.
Easy.
I think it would be Winston. I think it'd be Winston. I think he just has more heart when it comes to that kind of thing.
The thing is, Nathan is like one of those characters, like Doctor Who, is like, you don't know what the he's learned overseas. He's probably learned 1,000 skills you don't know.
Maybe, but you can't just assume that for anything.
Oh, we were assuming for Winston, too. That's what the game's about. We're assuming about these guys.
It's more about inference. So if Winston has a family, then it can be presumed that he's cooked sometimes. Cooked for other people. Yeah, Nathan, the only person he's worried about cooking for, if he ever cooks at all, is himself.
Well, he does have a wife and kid.
Sure, well, yeah, at the very end, sure. But like TJ versus frame rate.
Are you getting this as well? I'm sort of...
I am, yeah. It's speeding back up, but it is still a bit slow.
Now I'm just imagining a whole set of compilations, TJ versus blank.
TJ I'm not editing
TJ.
Those. If
TJ
you're watching, do it yourself.
Now you guys got me split. I'm very split now on this one.
Let's go for Ghostbusters. I mean, imagine how many cakes he's got to make for Slimer to gobble down and then just put on the floor.
All right, so Charlie's saying Winston. TJ?
Ghostbuster.
Winston?
All right, I'll go Winston. Right. It's fine. Y'all make good case.
He makes good cakes.
Exceedingly good cakes.
Charlie, you've got Toph Beifong from Avatar The Last Airbender, Chopper from Star Wars Rebels, Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon, or The Kool-Aid Man.
Oh no. It's going to be
Toph. Oh yeah!
Yes, okay. Thank you for that one.
Toph Beifong.
I'm not so much of an obstructionist, I'll go against my own biases. Unless it's Rita.
Toph Beifong versus Dot Warner.
Oh my god.
Oh, I know what's going on. My Google Drive is trying to save the file I'm trying to make right now.
You're actively creating.
I gotta quit that. Right.
Toph Beifong versus Dot Warner.
Frame rate's back.
Screaming for duration times volume.
Dot Warner.
No.
Just say that again. Sorry.
Screaming for duration times volume.
Damn it.
Oh god, they both could.
They both could, but Dot is gonna do it. Dot's gonna win for several reasons. Being much more animated, much more cartoony, and also having that superpower of the being a pest to people who will especially be bothered by her, and Toph would be very bothered by her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, Toph would compete in annoying someone.
Now,
Toph would compete, and that's why Dot would win.
On the subject of being more cartoony, normally I wouldn't accept that as an argument, but Dot, Yakko, and Wacko are explicitly stated in universe to be cartoony. So it's actually part of their character, whereas for like Bugs Bunny, it wouldn't be.
Also, imagine viewing that. Like, if she was going to do that, it would just be... Her chest gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. For just the longest duration.
I'm thinking of that scene in Avatar where they have Toph as a giant man in that play.
I release a sonic wave from my mouth.
You're selling me on Dots, I will say.
I think it's an easy one, this one.
I think so too, sadly.
Dot Warner versus Grogu.
The only person who could defeat her.
Speed stacking.
Maybe not then.
Oh, the Force. Again with the Force.
We did
but
do
this.
this.
Very fast with it.
Grogu and the Force and doing speed stacking. Didn't
I don't think so.
I thought we established that using telekinesis to do that would be faster than using hands.
New gimmick episode. TJ versus Deja Vu.
It would probably only be faster if he could control all 21 cups simultaneously and individually.
He's not that good at that kind of thing yet.
I think
he's not that good at it yet.
I haven't seen beyond season 1, so I don't know how good he's gotten with Force.
He can flip around. He can still lift stuff, but he's not that fast with it. He's not like an established master.
So Dot then.
So not very good. Not very good with telekinesis.
He could do it with telekinesis, which is impressive, but he would not be able to do it fast.
So Dot.
Right. Dot. Also, the whole like blur for hands sort of done.
TJ, you've got Gex from Gex, Coach C from Homestar Runner, Dupless from Paper Mario: The 1,000-Year Door, or Officer Benjamin Clawhauser from Zootopia.
Oh, I want to ditch. I don't know much about any of them. I'm saying
If you want a ditch, you might as well. Okay.
I said ditch.
You said I kind of want a ditch.
You didn't sound certain.
I said ditch. I'm gonna have to. Hello.
At least in his game, he had a sex scene with a Playboy model.
You mean a Gex scene?
What? Why? It's a kids game.
I don't think it's really a kids game. Like if you read any of the backstory, it's dark.
And
it's
weird.
Depressing. TV is a crutch. Like it's an emotional crutch for him. He watches TV because he doesn't think anything else he doesn't think there's anything else out there for him.
Has he not seen the internet? Oh, actually, maybe not.
Well,
No.
90s, so
Don't send him to the internet.
Here is your ditch. Counselor Deanna Troi from Star Trek The Next Generation, King Hippo from Punch-Out, or Yushu Lien from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
All right, Deanna Troi.
That image of King Hippo is unpleasant and difficult to parse.
Counselor Deanna Troi versus one well-fed Tribble.
another one where I have
think she
no
might be
opinion here.
Makes you feel empathetic towards it?
Rowing.
Well,
Let's
I feel
see.
like this is probably going to be Deanna, I think.
I think someone who's got arms is probably going to be a lot better than something that may or may not have arms.
Are these squid creatures?
Tribbles are like these little balls of fur, and they are born pregnant.
Which seems to be quite a time saver.
They breed like rabbits, basically. They just sort of become more just over time until the whole ship is completely filled with tribbles
They sound
within
like
hours.
scarier gremlins. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
They do nothing but consume food and breed. If you feed that thing more than the smallest morsel, in a few hours you'll have 10 tribbles, then 100, then 1,000.
Hundreds of thousands.
1,771,561. That's assuming one tribble, multiplying with an average litter of 10, producing a new generation every 12 hours over a period of 3 days.
Not very good at
Yoshis
rowing.
too. Well, okay, that's good to know then. Like 10 for a pair of arms together.
I mean, yeah, if they created like a tribble mech, that might work. But at the moment, there's only one of them.
Oh, okay, so that's ain't gonna happen.
So I'm gonna give it to Deanna.
I'll do the same.
Oh, he's gone. Okay.
They had
they both went.
So what I was saying.
Well, before you do that, let the record show that our house is wired like absolute garbage because our other roommate just tried to use the microwave while the air conditioning was on. This bops the entire circuit, and that circuit is also where our router is plugged in because there is absolutely nowhere else for it to be in this house. So our internet just went down because our other roommate got hungry.
I should say, this contest is very much like the one with the toaster, only there's less chance of electrocution here.
Did you guys hear when I was talking about the Tribbles making a Tribble mech suit?
No.
There's only one Tribble, though.
That's what I concluded. But currently there's only one Tribble, so...
Also, Tribbles have been shown in great quantity and have never been displayed that capacity.
Yet.
Still, you've got Jamie Heineman from Mythbusters, Queen Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones, Dean Winchester from Supernatural, or Dorothy Gale from The Wizard of Oz.
Can I ditch this one?
Don't we already have the other
got
guy?
Adam Savage.
We've got Adam Savage.
We have Adam Savage up there right now, yeah. Alright, here's your ditch. Oscar the Grouch from Sesame Street, Slippy Toad from Star Fox, or Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th.
Basically three of the same character.
Just three monsters.
Oh god. Slippy would be absolutely useless but hilarious, and Jason would just decimate.
Characters you think would be useless are surprisingly effective sometimes.
And Jason, there's a lot of things Jason
Keep in
cannot
mind
do well.
That in a recently aired episode at time of filming, Snoopy beat Superman.
Oh, you sold me Slippy. I was gonna do Jason, but I'm going Slippy on this one.
Slippy,
Okay.
yeah. Oh, I forgot. I was gonna go for all bald characters when they came up, but I went for Deanna Troi, and the Tribble as well. That's a lot of hair.
Perfect character for you in this game would be the Doctor from Voyager.
Well, you say
All right,
that.
Slippy Toad versus Dr. Wayne Zelinsky. Actually, fairly evenly matched, I think.
Slippy inventor?
For the most part. Yeah, Slippy is an inventor. Actually, I think Slippy is more physically fit as well. He's just less coordinated.
Really?
Basket weaving.
I don't know the other characters. Y'all have to fill me in on this one.
Like, they both work with their hands all the time, but Slippy,
it's in the name.
You know, he has that nickname for a reason.
Oh, yeah, so the weaving wouldn't be too handy. Okay. Let's probably X him out of this one.
I wouldn't mind, but I'm just trying to get in the room.
Yeah, I think a lot of characters Slippy could beat, but I don't think Wayne is one of them.
Not with basket weaving, at least.
It's going to be Wayne, isn't it?
Yeah, in this event specifically.
You promised.
All right.
You promised he was going to be a good one.
He was a good one.
Who were you going to pick
was a
before?
good one.
You were going to pick Jason, weren't you? Basket weaving.
Jason would not have done
He
that.
still would have lost.
Dr. Wayne Zelinsky versus Counselor Deanna Troy.
Brains versus
in a
brawn?
scavenger hunt.
He's very good at finding small things.
He'd build an egg detector.
Who is this again?
Deanna Troy.
Dr. Wayne Zelinsky versus Counselor Deanna Troy.
Yeah.
In?
Scavenger hunt. Oh yeah, scavenger hunt, not Easter egg hunt. Now, in a lot of scavenger hunts, instead of just providing you a list of things to go find, they give you clues. So you have to figure out what each thing is, and then go like snap a picture of it.
Deanna Troy actually did this.
Meet me in Transporter Room 3 at 1900 hours. It's important. It pulses unendingly all through the night. Seek out the crystal that powers our flight.
Can I help you, Counselor?
No, thank you. What the future holds, no one can know, but forward we look and forward we go.
Denerin Falls.
I remember.
That
Scavenger
is
hunt.
also another valid form of scavenger hunt where one clue leads to the next.
Yeah.
So one character is confirmed to have done this very task. So.
But I think Wayne would probably be better.
I mean, what are Wayne's failings, though?
He's a bit careless with where he keeps the controls of his shrink ray.
He is a
He
little
loses
oblivious
things.
sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, there's oblivious and he loses things. And,
Okay.
that's not what you want as a scavenger hunt.
When he's really focused on a task, though, he's like all the way dialed in. But yeah, if he's
I'm leaning towards.
if he's focused on one task, everything else goes by the wayside.
I'm leaning towards Deanna Troy on this one.
Okay, so TJ's saying Zelinsky, Charlie's saying Troy.
But he's changing his mind.
Stale. You got any points either way here?
Thing is, I don't know these characters personally, but you both have really good arguments.
Thing is, Charlie's right. I am sort of changing my mind.
Okay.
I think I might have to go for Deanna.
So that sounds like 2 votes for Deanna Troy.
Yeah.
Counselor Deanna Troy versus Dot Warner. Ice Road Trucking.
This one again! The one that just aired, it was...
It's only the one chip in there, too. It comes up surprisingly a lot.
Wasn't it Herbie and Mr. Rogers?
It was,
We
yeah.
had Dot's a child, but she's a cartoon, intelligent child.
Dot
In the latest
can
edition,
put
she's
on
not
the
a child
persona
anymore.
of an ice road trucker.
They were, locked in the tower for 30 years? 40?
Based on what they look like, probably.
I'm going to say it took the entire series and several movies before Deanna ever got to fly the ship, and she immediately crashed it.
Twice.
Oh, no.
She did. Crashed the Enterprise D into a planet.
Engaging impulse engines.
Core breach in progress.
Primary stabilizers offline.
And she crashed the Enterprise E into another ship.
On my mark, Deanna. All hands, brace for impact. Engage.
Marina Sirtis mentioned this at a convention. She was telling this anecdote about how she was reading the script for that, and she, in the middle of reading the script, calls out Michael Dorn. She's like, Dorney, I get to fly the ship! It just says real quietly, finish reading it, then call me back.
In the last episode of Picard, she pilots the ship and she doesn't crash it.
Indeed. She finally gets her redemption.
I thought it would have been great if she just sort of dinked it on something as she went past.
And just knocked a statue over, like the one in front of the McAllister's house in Home Alone.
For some reason, there's the McAllister statue outside a Borg ship. Yeah,
if anyone could take down the Borg, it'd probably be him.
Yeah.
Charlie, you've got Toucan Sam, the mascot of Fruit Loops, Tom Brokaw, the news anchor, Sir Tobert Mater from Cars, or the Duras sisters from Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
I am so glad to have a chance to get rid of both of the Cars characters in here. I would go for Toucan Sam if Tony the Tiger had been picked, but that didn't happen.
You don't know that they're the only ones, Charlie.
I know. I hate you. Let's go with the Duras sisters.
Couple of Klingons with the little peephole.
They don't have much going for them. The boob window.
Bushy beard.
The Duras sisters versus Adam Savage. A towel snap fight.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
I think Adam Savage is in trouble.
He is.
Well, there's two of them, so...
He would invent
There's
something
two of them,
that could
and they
do
have...
it.
But they are Klingon warriors.
Give them anything.
Noxious Klingon warriors. The only danger they have is if they would go too far with it.
He would, they wouldn't... They're Klingons. They don't have limits. He would die.
Yeah.
But then that would get them disqualified.
That would.
But I think there needs to be a bit of leeway if they're Klingons.
I think...
No.
I think they'd have to kill him. I don't think they would kill him. I do think they would win.
Well, if they do kill him, will that disqualify them, and therefore Adam wins by default?
Too much violence.
Yes.
Oh, yes. I mean, they're
They
cunning and they're competitive.
They don't even necessarily have to go that far.
It's
just like if they might attach like a staple or something to the corner that they're swinging around. They can, all sorts of things would get them disqualified here. It doesn't necessarily have to be, actual like murder.
They would.
I don't think they would have to cheat in this one. I think
no, but they still
would.
Only
if they thought they needed to. Only if they thought they needed to. And they would not see him as a threat at all.
In the words of Dick Dastardly, no, Muttley, we can't win fairly. We are villains, ergo we must cheat.
That's pretty good.
Oh, okay, yeah. The Duras sisters.
I'll give you on that one.
One towel per cheek. He ain't sitting down for a year.
The real question is, would Adam Savage be into it?
Answers in the comments.
I really don't think he would. TJ, you've got Buster Bunny from Tiny Toon Adventures, Brewster from Animal Crossing, Ghost Wizard from The Begun of Tigtone, or Kess from Star Trek Voyager.
So many Star Trek characters. Whose fault is that?
Ghost Wizard? What the hell is a Ghost Wizard?
He's a ghost wizard.
I've got to go with Ghost Wizard, because how can you be a ghost and a wizard? He's got
Have
two
you failed to introduce
powers.
TJ to Tigtone?
So he's a wizard who died.
Apparently!
Actually, that is not clear.
It's not clear that he has died.
What? How? He's obviously a ghost!
Or that he didn't become a wizard after he became a ghost.
There is also that possibility. We don't know which came first, the ghost or the wizard.
TJ, when you have about 10 minutes and some brain cells to kill, you should look up The Begun of Tigtone.
Honestly, I hated it the first time I watched it, but I still couldn't stop quoting it. And so now I've seen it like 5 times. Ghost Wizard versus Dr. Alan Grant. Bowling.
Alan Grant feels kind of like a bowler to me.
Ghost Wizard. It's like Grogu now. It's like, oh, okay. Alakazam, and he just...
He is a ghost and a wizard. If he's a wizard, he can...
Although...
And I can see Al being a bowler, but at the same time...
he did... When he did launch, like, I think it was it was 2 projectiles. They both just kind of dinked off of Tigtone's shield.
Pins aren't going to have shields, though.
True, and they're meant to be knocked. No?
No, they don't have shields.
Good to
They
clear
didn't
that
seem
up.
to have, like, any impact at all.
Oh, gotcha. That's
Ghost Wizard doesn't seem very powerful. I don't think he could really pick up a throw bowling ball.
Is it right? Is the magic also a ghost?
No, it was just fireballs.
It didn't have enough force to do anything.
Is a ghost that is a wizard, or a wizard that is a ghost? We really need to pin this down to really point out whether the magic has any force or not, because if it's a ghost who has become a wizard, he was a ghost and then he got magical powers, so that's on the outside. Whereas the wizard becoming a ghost, his magic is now a ghost as well.
Oh.
So which is it?
I think it's Alan Grant.
I'm tempted to go for the ghost. The wizard ghost who can shoot. I mean, he's not using fireballs, he's using a bowling ball.
Because he's
an old man. He's very old.
But he's a ghost.
Oh no! I can't
He
pick it
would
up.
be allowed. He would be allowed to use his powers to lift the bowling ball, so long as his magic doesn't cross the foul line.
Do you reckon he'll be allowed to use one of those big sort of bowling ball aimer things, those railings that go down?
The ramps?
Yeah.
No.
So why are kids allowed? Next time I go bowling, I'm stealing those things away. Are you a ghost? No, I didn't think so.
Because they're not competing in anyone's game.
TJ, you sold me on Ghost Wizard.
I'm thinking
Sorry,
ghost.
Charlie.
He's got the powers.
All right, so sounds like 2 votes for Ghost Wizard. Ghost Wizard versus Mary Poppins. Make that Ghost Wizard and Dr. Alan Grant versus Mary Poppins, Zach Martin, and Cody Martin in Dungeon Delving.
No!
That's what wizards do! They delve dungeons!
That's
and now
kind of what Dr. Alan Grant did as well, several times on that
with his
island.
new bowling capabilities. I don't see Mary Poppins popping in and out of dungeons.
It's in her name.
What are you talking about? Alan Grant going into dungeons?
Like all the facilities that have been overrun and stuff, those are basically dungeons.
They're evenly matched though, because you got one has magic with the archaeologists, one is magic with 2 teenagers or tweens.
She's being dragged down by those kids.
She's not. She would be making them have a great time. They'd be doing all the adventuring, and she'd be supporting them.
They aren't
Alan Grant.
Good point, actually.
They aren't
Alan
completely
Grant
incompetent.
Alan Grant hates kids and fun.
Literally a wizard.
Zach and Cody are not completely incompetent. Zach is kind of more of the physical, athletic type, and Cody is more of the studious, cautious type. They both keep each other in check and also kind of complement each other. But also, they have Mary Poppins to do more of the wise. Information having kind of things. Conversely, you have almost a similar dynamic on the other side where Ghost Wizard can provide a lot of information. He has access to overt magic spells, whereas Mary Poppins' magic is always usually pretty subtle, and Alan Grant has experience going through abandoned buildings, some of which are in fact underground and may or may not contain booby traps.
They don't contain booby traps. No, look, I think about Alan Grant is also, he's not adventurous at all.
Mary Poppins is a wizard of the home, not a wizard of the dungeon.
She's a wizard of whatever she needs to be, but Alan Grant is not an explorer.
There are no dungeons in London!
No, there's no dungeons in Jurassic Park either. I do not buy that argument at all.
There is no such...
London delving.
There is no such... I've never been to the London dungeons.
The London Dungeon. It's all new.
By the way, Alan Grant, he's practical, he gets the job done, but he doesn't go adventuring. He's not he doesn't have the spirit that the kids would have. I think there would be a much more successful adventure delving with Mary Poppins and the kids.
Hypothetical, right? You're in a dungeon, you're with Mary Poppins, ignore the kids, they're screaming and shouting and being stupid like the Goonies. So a big spiky mace is coming straight towards her. What is she going to do?
Umbrella.
Yeah,
it's magic. It can propel. She's just keep on walking, children.
She's
in the situation.
Mary
like that,
Poppins, not 007.
She would probably either duck out of the way or get into the bag.
No. What she would do is she would
pull open the bag and pull it over herself, she
would put up her finger, stop it in its tracks, hold it, and it would retreat back up into the ceiling.
No.
She's good. She's made for this.
Does have
telekinesis.
I
don't think
I'm
she'd
saying.
be able to do that.
Ghost Wizard wouldn't even be phased by it. It just passed straight through.
She has elaborate telekinesis and can animate
And hit
objects.
Dr. Grant.
Oh, he'd roll underneath or whatever.
He's not an action hero.
She doesn't really
He
have.
fights dinosaurs. Of course he is.
I don't really
survives
think she has
Survi-
telekinesis like that.
She doesn't have
She
telekinesis.
gets the whole house to clean, remember? This is a whole scene where she's getting the whole house things to clean themselves, doing all the chores.
Yeah.
I'm sold on Mary
She-
Poppins.
But
and
she was
Zack and Cody.
convincing them to do it. It wasn't that she was actively controlling them. She's
Convincing
more
the
of like
inanimate
a,
objects to do it, yes.
she's more of like a catalyst for things to go strange. Like
So
when
she could convince the rolling spike ball to go back up into its house.
It's got a house
Probably could.
with a
Let me
little
just
spike
stay back
ball
up there.
wife
Maybe.
and little spike ball kids.
If she can sweep a floor by telling a broom to sweep the floor, she can avoid the trap that way.
Yes, I agree. I'm going Mary. Charlie, I'm with you on this one.
all right,
Terrible
sounds
people.
like Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins,
I'm
Zack and
sorry.
Cody win.
Wait, and as a backup plan, they could pop into a nearby wall painting or something.
You've just gone two adventurers who literally dungeon delve and gone for Mary Poppins
You do not
based
know
on
enough about the Ghost
circumstantial
Wizard, my friend.
evidence.
You do not know enough about the Ghost Wizard here.
Stale. You've got Louis Tully from Ghostbusters, The Cheat from Homestar Runner, Richard B. Riddick from Riddick, or Mario from Super Mario.
We're getting a lot of franchise repeats. It's kind of nice.
Oh, man.
Get Lewis Tully in there.
You can give Rick Moranis another try,
Yeah.
too.
That's what I'm considering it. Thing is, I forgot.
But then-
as soon as you said his name, I forgot his name. I know the character, but I forgot his name all of a
There is
sudden.
Mario.
For some reason.
Yeah,
My brain
Louis
farted.
Tully, aka
Louis, that's right.
the Keymaster.
Louis or Mario? I'm going with Louis.
Still haven't
you
seen
did
Mario
the
up here, I believe.
Oh,
It's
really?
too obvious, isn't
Yeah.
he? He's the hero.
That's because you're never a judge, Rob.
Louis Tully versus Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. String figures.
He's got
String
hooves.
figures, such as Cat's Cradle and nope. You've got like the string around your fingers, and you make different.
Oh, those things.
Yeah, you make different like shapes and stuff with them.
Things I want to say Louis, but also he's Louis. So,
It just occurred to me. I don't have Kitty from No Evil in here. She'd be downright dangerous with this. She uses string figures for magic.
Antlers.
oh damn.
He had antlers.
The antlers, I mean-
String figure antlers.
They can't really move though.
No, but they can
Here's the
use
thing.
them to hold in places.
If Rudolph held out his hooves with one string between them, just a loop, he would still be doing better than Lewis, who'd be literally tying himself in a knot.
That's what
That's
what I was
that
imagining.
Takes some talent.
I know. To be
Or,
that
you
bad.
know, it'd be impressive.
He has
for
fingers,
sure.
but he's Louis.
So he might as well not have fingers. He's worse than
he
someone
is
who
kind of a
doesn't
pathetic
even have
character,
hands.
but I don't think he is kind of a pathetic character, but I don't think he's completely incompetent.
At a party, like, hey, I'll show you this trick I could do, and then that would be the biggest disaster.
Well, we're just beating up on Louis right now. This is mean of us.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Get him out of there.
So it sounds
Rudolph.
like Rudolph then?
Again, if we're going to go for circumstantial evidence,
All right.
Rudolph.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer versus the Duras sisters. It's cosplay. Rudolph is cosplaying as Louis Tully, and the Duras sisters are cosplaying as Adam Savage.
That's gotta be Rudolph.
Oh,
There
Duras
is
sisters
one
would
costume between. They have to both be in the
So-
same costume.
They will. Oh no, they can't do it. They're not even the same species. They'd have to have surgery.
And they wouldn't demean
You
themselves.
don't have to have surgery for cosplay.
I'm gonna give this to
They
the
could-
Rudolph sisters.
They could put on like a rubber forehead. It's fine.
Yeah, but it would be massive. Look
Have
at
you
them.
seen Adam Savage?
He can do Louis.
They got room.
though.
Lewis would be very easy, so I think Rudolph.
And Rudolph would be into it, and the Duras sisters would not want to demean themselves.
That's it too.
Dressed as a
That's it
lowly
too.
human.
They would
All right.
kill you for
This is
even
one of those-
suggesting it.
It's one of those situations where their priorities are not in line with the game.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer versus Miguel and Tulio. Make that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer versus Miguel and Tulio versus the Duras sisters versus Gus. Risk. This is a 6-player game where if either of the Duras sisters or Miguel or Tulio win, then their whole team wins. Those pairs are working together.
If anyone
write
knows
Gus
anything
out.
about conquering, that's the Klingons.
Can we?
I mean,
Can we write Gus out? Like, one of his major talents is being underestimated. He's not,
Like, I'm not
necessarily the one solving all the crimes and stuff, but he's there. And he's not dragging things down, which
But he
is
also
more than I
has
could
bad
say
luck.
for like myself. He does have fairly bad luck in that
I'm
he's
not
always
writing him off
being roped in,
because-
but he's
I'm not
always
writing him off because he's
underestimated.
incompetent. I'm writing off because of the caliber of the other people playing here. And Rudolph, I could say Rudolph would be good at this because Rudolph probably plays a lot of board games. Being
Also, he
living
does know
in
the world.
Christmas Town.
He does it
And
yearly.
his geography is good. That doesn't really actually help with this game, though.
Not really, no.
See, if Klingons are good at conquering, Miguel and Tulio conquered a whole civilization themselves, to be fair.
I'm thinking it's
And
Miguel and
accidentally.
Tulio.
What
While the
was
Duras
that?
sisters would have aggressive tactics, would be very conquering, very, very powerful.
Yeah.
Miguel and Tulio, if anybody in the world could, they could play them against each other. They could lure them into traps.
Oh.
They could mess with them.
Make them
They did
fight
play the
amongst
priest against each other.
themselves.
Yes. Oh my god.
Oh, dear.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I know.
all right. So sounds like Miguel and Tulio then.
Again, I didn't expect
All right.
the Duras sisters, the Klingons, conquerors of the Alpha Quadrant, to get taken out by two people who went to America by accident.
Neither would they, and that's why they lost.
Miguel and Tulio versus Dot Warner, balloon animals.
Oh, I think they met their match.
That's
They met
not-
their match.
They can't. They can't do it.
Immediately done.
Dot twists her way into the final. Charlie, you've got Emperor Cusco from The Emperor's New Groove, Rouge the Bat from Sonic the Hedgehog, Ickis from Real Monsters, or Sam I Am from Green Eggs and Ham.
Is
Yeah.
Cusco a llama at this time?
He was a llama previously, he is not now.
Then ditch.
Count Von Count from Sesame Street, Sheldon Plankton from SpongeBob SquarePants, or the Big Bad Wolf from The Fables.
Let's go with the Big Bad Wolf.
The Big Bad Wolf versus Moneybags. Pole vaulting.
Yeah, Moneybag's gonna fall on his face. He did do wrestling back in college, he said, but he's pretty big
That's
now.
very different.
But
That is very different.
could the Big
and
Bad
the
Wolf...
Big Bad Wolf is very generally athletic.
Are we imagining the Big Bad Wolf being sort of looking like a werewolf?
Probably, yeah.
Because I was just imagining a wolf.
Even if he is just a wolf, he's kind of anthropomorphized and able to do a lot of things a wolf couldn't do, like dress as a grandmother. So I'm assuming
Yeah.
he could pole vault, even if he's
Okay.
just a wolf.
An anthropomorphic wolf. Okay.
He doesn't have to do well. He just has to do better than
Has to be
Moneybags.
better, yeah. I think it's going to be the wolf, isn't it?
All right.
Kind of want to see the wolf get up there, the pole straightens out, and he just stays on top, stuck like a cat in a tree.
All right, TJ, you've got the last pick of the day. Ursula from The Little Mermaid, The Rescuers from The Rescuers, Kevin 11 from Ben 10, or Tarantula from The Bad Guys.
Let's go for the tarantula.
Tarantula versus Gargamel, restaurant reviewing.
Oh,
Okay.
Gargamel. He'd be so brutal.
It would. It'd be Gargamel.
I think
If you gotta go
with him,
Gargamel's
too.
I think Gargamel's complaint would always be that they don't serve Smurf.
Where's
Yeah.
the Smurfs?
So maybe that's not so
Tarantula is-
helpful.
Tarantula's kind of a shut-in. She's not really a social thing, and
No,
That's
but the
true.
apps.
No.
I think it would be Gargamel.
And typing very
He'd be
quickly.
more prolific. He'd be the guy who just posts on Yelp all the time.
He'd be the male Karen.
Gargamel versus the Big Bad Wolf, hot dog eating.
Oh, Big Bad Wolf.
Of course.
Yeah.
Again, it's not Smurf.
Eating a whole grandma's worth of hot dogs. All right, the Big Bad Wolf versus Winston Zedmore, burglary.
I think
Well,
Big Bad
Winston-
Wolf. I mean,
Yeah, he got into the grandmother's house somehow.
I didn't
True.
take anything.
but he
That
had to
too.
wait. He had to.
And Winston's
He
the
kind
family
of-
man. I can't see him doing that.
I'll give it for the wolf for intent,
Yeah,
but I mean,
good.
he's not very good at it. He had to wait until he had everybody's names and exact locations before he could even try to do some crime.
I think if the wolf got in, you'd be too
Hey,
scared to stop
patience and
him.
research are a thing. Donatello, our current champion, hops into the tournament to face Ralph Wiggum. Horse racing.
Donnie.
That'll be Donnie.
All Ralph would really have to do is nothing, and he'd still f it up. Donatello versus Britta Perry. Origami.
Oh yeah, Donatello. My God.
He'd be able to like
done
make
a lot of
shurikens out of it.
I'm sure that's been part of Splinter's training.
Donatello
Japanese one,
versus Mary Poppins. Make that Donatello and Britta Perry and Ralph Wiggum
Oh no.
versus Mary Poppins and Ghost Wizard and Zack and Cody in paintball.
You can't hit
Donatello's
the
gonna
ghost
get-
wizard. He's a ghost.
But he can't hit you either.
But he can pick
Well,
things.
well.
He can bowl, but he can't paintball. What?
I did never agree that he could.
Oh,
I
good
never
point.
agreed that he could bowl.
So he won bowling.
I still disagree with that.
Oh, we'll just get Mary Poppins to just stop the balls in midair, shall we? I'm not
Actually,
choosing
it's-
Mary Poppins. Ghost Wizard all the way.
Where I mean, they're on the same team.
Yeah, they are on the same team. So
No.
if
matter
what you
Ghost
pick, you'd
Wizard
win.
wins, then Mary Poppins advances.
I want it to be her though.
It would be Donatello versus the entire other group because we know Britta Perry's not going to do anything. She doesn't believe in guns.
She'd
And Ralph
also
Wiggum
just
would,
get hit
would be
a
less
lot.
than useless.
That's true.
Ralph would also
No,
get hit a lot. Yeah.
It really
It
is
is
just
Mary
Although come to think of
Poppins.
it,
I think-
sorry, now that I think about it though, Britta Perry was involved in several paintball episodes. I don't think she always did terribly.
So,
I don't
so
recall
her
exactly
and a
how she went,
ninja, a
She has
literal
experience.
ninja.
Okay,
Oh, Zach would be
I wanna
way
say-
into it.
Zach would be really into it.
Cody wouldn't be
Okay.
awful either. He'd be more like
Here's
a
the
sniper.
thing. Hold on. Well, Mary Poppins would use her powers to not let people get hurt, like in the dungeon delving. She would not use her powers to cheat. But here's what she would do. She would give Zach and Cody the biggest advantages. I think their presence makes her a lot more powerful in this. Because there's
Oh.
kids that she can support and make them into badasses. They would really compete.
Fine.
There's that.
I don't-
There's those
Give it
three
to Mary
individuals.
Poppins.
I just
Yeah.
don't know what
It
the
is-
Ghost Wizard would do here. I do think more research
I
needs to
am
be
Ghost
done.
Wizard.
He
on
would
the
be-
Ghost
It
Wizard.
is
Diving out,
also
going,
4-on-3. It is also 4-on-3, and one of the three is Ralph Wiggum.
He's
Mary
dead.
Poppins versus the Big Bad Wolf.
Yeah.
Make that Mary Poppins versus the Big Bad Wolf versus Donatello versus Winston Zedmore. Bingo.
Bingo.
Who's
So
the most
Mary-
blatantly lucky? This is like 90% luck and 10% observation.
Obviously, Mary Poppins. She's practically perfect in every way.
But she wouldn't cheat here.
She wouldn't have to cheat.
No, she wouldn't.
Just lucky.
I don't think she would use her power to take a victory away from somebody else unrightfully.
She's not using her powers. She's playing bingo.
I don't think
Super lucky, she just kind of makes her own luck.
But nothing bad ever happens to her.
I don't
All
have an
right.
argument.
Mary Poppins bingos her way into the final against Dot Warner. So
They're both-
first to take 2 contests is the winner. There are free-for-all events still remaining in the bucket. If we get one of those and a previous contestant wins, they enter the final. First contest is a snowball fight.
Oh,
Man, that is difficult.
I
think
would pay
Dot-
money to watch this.
I'm imagining
I
a
think-
cartoon. Like,
Oh
penguin.
yeah,
Dot would be-
Dot would
that
have.
would be more aggressive.
She would have like a sort of Gatling gun sort of effect.
Mary
Oh,
would
yeah.
catch a lot of snowballs in the bag.
She's got her bag, but she's also got her umbrella. She can just shoo and just catapult a whole bunch.
Use it like an atlatl.
Yeah.
Man, they're pretty evenly
Set
matched
the
in this
snowball
one.
in the hook,
Yeah.
grab it by the tip, and just swing it.
She would use the umbrella to zoop, and off it goes back to Dot.
But I'm leaning on the aggression. That would be Dot.
But that also might be her downfall against somebody like.
It might be.
Right,
Also,
Bob? Yeah.
for comedy
Dot
effect, she
does
gets
not have
splattered.
the karmic advantage here.
would, you know?
Yeah, true.
You know,
So
the
Mary,
karmic advantage.
Yeah.
I think the karmic, because of the chaos, and I think the karmic advantage falls to Mary Poppins' advantage here.
all right, that's point 1 for Mary
She's hit by
Poppins.
roof snow.
Second match, science fair.
Okay, this would go to Dot. Mary Poppins would create something nice and clever, and Dot would create a mini nuclear reactor.
Exactly. She would do something bananas.
This is where the over the top advantage would go to Dot.
She would do something with
So-
bananas.
All
Nuclear
right.
bananas.
Do some nuclear banana.
All right, and that's point 1 for Dot. Here we go. To take it all, it's a cringe competition.
That's
Dot!
so Dot.
That's Dot.
No question.
No question.
All right, Dot Warner's made some deep runs here before, but this is her first title. Before we wrap all this up, where can folks find more from you, Stale?
You could find me at the Stale Rice on Twitter. I make stuffed animals, and on YouTube you can find me at just Stale Rice, where I post cooking videos.
Charlie.
You can find me at thefirethiefstudio.com and Firethieves on Facebook. Firethieves Studio on Facebook. I do LARP equipment, bopper weapons. I do distressed post-apocalyptic props and teddy bears and stuff, and all kinds of other things.
TJ.
Twitch.tv/TJ Pownell. Everything else comes from there. We do streams. It's a lot of chaos, a lot of swearing, a lot of shouting, just generally being horrible person to people for money. Come watch my streams.
Stale, if you need to take off here, that's understandable. I'm just going to be doing the wrap up. So,
all right. I appreciate you guys.
Thanks for being here.
Take care, guys.
All right, bye. So, Dot Warner out-cringed Mary Poppins and blinded her with science. She out-twisted Miguel and Tulio and handled trucks on ice better than Deanna Troi. She stacked cups faster than Grogu and screamed louder and longer than Toph Beifong. That's why she's our new champion. She'll be back next time to see if she can pick up another title. And she'll be joined by 31 brand new competitors because it's still anyone's game.
Anyone's game!
Anyone's Game was a production of Raspberry Grenade Games, copyright 2023, all rights reserved.